Good morning. Just want to jump on here real quick and give you a summary of what we talked about with the Red Cross. Because this is bigger than just the Red Cross. That was just a vehicle that God wanted to use. And it went very well. They like, man, we need to have some future talks. We need to put some stuff in place. We want to talk again. But I want to jump on here and let you know that I wasn't able to bring up all the scriptures according to what I was saying. So I just wanted to share them with you. That morning I woke up, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. He was like, hey, just talk about the injustice that's going on. I was like, what type of story you want? I mean, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. So I woke up and I was like, in my meditations, I was like, Lord, what do you want to say through me to the people? Because if I get in the way, I'm going to be angry. And God immediately took me to the scriptures. And a lot of people just, they may not read the Bible, but they're kind of familiar with this story about Cain and Abel. And when I read these scriptures, and there were two distinctive features that popped out, because we know as Christians that the word of God is alive and it's living. And when I read this, the scriptures like jumped out at me and grabbed my heart about Cain and Abel. I don't know if this video will be long or super long, but it's gonna be worth it, I promise. So I was reading the story about Cain and Abel when Cain killed his brother Abel over jealousy. I mean, some of y'all need to know the story. But when Cain killed Abel, God came to him and he said, Cain, where's your brother Abel? And Cain was like, man, I don't know. And my brother's keeper. And God said, listen, for the voice of your brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And I stopped, and that's when the scriptures jumped out. So basically, those scriptures that leaped out, they made me think about what's going on right now with the injustices that's happening in our nation. Number one is he asked him where he was. And number two, he was like, he knew what he did. So, but I want to work with the one where he knew what he did. He knew he killed him. He knew that he slayed him. He knew that he killed him over jealousy. And he knew where he was, but he denied his existence. So, as I began to just meditate on those scriptures and what God is saying about the injustice that's happening in our nation through those scriptures is that whites or any other ethnicity that's outside of the brown world, their forefathers was responsible for the injustice and the blood that was shed over racism. So today, they may not be, they're not responsible for actually killing the people, and the blood is not on their hands because they haven't physically touched the brown person. But the first part is when he denied his existence. So in today's world, if you know that somebody is being discriminated against, if you know that there's being some injustice happening, and you know that it's happening, and you brush it up under the rug and deny its very existence, like, oh, racism ain't like what they talk. They just angry. They just gonna have to get over that. It ain't like that. And you know, and you try to deny its existence. What God is saying that you are an accessory to murder. And that goes for all of us. If you see anybody in any situation, you see any type of injustice done, you rise up. And basically what I was telling them is that it's the small voices that destroy the vine. And it's the small things that can rebuild this nation. And I had a video and I talked about how if somebody's cracking racist jokes, rise up and say that's wrong, that's not right. If you're in a position, and this is what I told them, I said, if you're in a position to hire people in the HR department and you walk in there and you see your boss only hiring white names, and you see them skipping over people of color and they're more qualified than the white names, you rise up and say, that's not right. You need to hire these people. And we're not looking for a free lunch. Just like when I went out to a restaurant, but this happened several times, but one time I went there and it was like 3 other white people. They came in after me and they got served before me. And I brought it, they know what they doing. And I brought it to the waiter and she went and talked to the manager. The manager came out, I was like, what's your name, sir? Oh, Mr. Trino. Oh, we're sorry that this happened. Let us take care of your meal today. Man, may your free meal perish with you. I don't want a free meal. I want justice. I want to be treated just like you treated those other 3 white people that you served before me, and I was here before them. And to sum it all up, I was just voicing to them that the voice that they heard today was not my voice. It was a clarion call. And the clarion call is a distinct sound. It's a pure, distinct sound that's so loud that it cannot be ignored. We're gathering together, sports, the football players, the basketball players, we joining hands, we doing peaceful walks. We doing everything that we possibly can, peacefully and purely. But it has gotten to a point that the trumpet is sounding from the voice of the blood that those that are dead. And what it's saying is it cannot be ignored. It's crying out for help. It's crying out for a change. Listen to this voice. Listen to this cry. Not from my voice, but from the voice of the blood of those that are died.